This is ETV, Entertainment Television, everywhere in the Treasure Valley. Brought to you by Boise Weekly, Citadel Radio, The Record Exchange, and KBOI TV2.
Hello there, and welcome to ETV, Entertainment Television, everywhere in the Treasure Valley. I'm your host, Brad Rowan. Well, stick around because this weekend we're going to get you all set with a show full of beer, brats, and barbecues. But first, it's time to find out which new movies are hitting theaters with two new sequels heading to town. And to tell us a little bit more about it, here's Sean McBride, the movie guy.
This could mean the end of Kung Fu.
But I just got Kung Fu.
And now you must save it.
Kung Fu Panda 2 kicks its way into theaters this week, and the little kids seem very excited about catching up with Po, the silly panda, and his animal fighting friends.
My fist hungers for justice. That was my fist.
You can expect more animated antics as Po and the Fabulous Five face a bad guy bent on conquering China. So lots of action, lots of silly humor, and cute characters. Gotta love Kung Fu Panda 2.
I like it. Phil, I think it's happened again.
The other big sequel out this week is the very adult The Hangover 2, in which a bunch of guys once again get wasted and then try to figure out what happened the next morning.
What is going on?
This time out, the party moves to Bangkok, where things get really crazy.
The sequel has upped the ante.
We're having a lot more fun.
Hey!
We still get mixed up in some just awful, dark, weird, crazy shenanigans.
Seriously, what is wrong with you three?
So much, Trace, I don't even know where to begin.
And that's what's new at the movies this week. I'm Sean McBride, the movie guy, for ETV.
And Sean McBride, the movie guy, joins us now. Hangover 2.
You know, I'm a big fan of the original Hangover, and if you are a fan of that film, you will still like this one, but it's exactly the same film. I mean, the only thing that's changed is locations. They're in Thailand. There's a monkey this time. It's not quite as fresh. Honestly, I think if you want to see a gross-out comedy, go see Bridesmaids. It's a funnier flick.
Sounds good. And then at the Flicks?
Yeah, so new this week at the Flicks, another one of my favorite films from this year's South by Southwest Film Festival, The Greatest Movie Ever Sold, or excuse me, that would be Palm Wonderful Presents The Greatest Movie Ever Sold. It's the latest documentary from Morgan Spurlock, the man behind Super Size Me. This time out, he's making a movie about product placement in movies. So it's a movie about getting advertisers to sign on to make this movie about advertising in movies. It's all very meta. I don't think it breaks any new ground on the subject, but it is a lot of fun, and over at the Flicks.
And what's on DVD?
Over on DVD, my pick would be the first of this spring's surprisingly good crop of family animated features, Romeo and Juliet, which is basically the retelling of Romeo and Juliet, but done with garden gnomes and lawnmower races. It's got big, brightly colored action for the kiddies, and some more highbrow humor to keep mom and dad entertained. A lot of fun.
Now, aren't you actually opening up on the stage this weekend?
Yes, yeah. Well, last weekend, it was opening weekend for This Day and Age over at the Boise Little Theater. We had a nice crowd and I think pretty good performance. This is the story of a widow who is planning to move out of her Connecticut home, but then her two grown kids stop by. They've got plans of their own, and that stirs everything up. Tensions run high, the alcohol flows, and things quickly spiral out of control. This Day and Age is one of those dramedies. So it's got a lot of humor and then some touching dramatic moments. I think you'll like it. 2 more weekends over at the Boise Little Theater. Tickets and information at 342-5104 or boiselittletheater.org. Now don't forget about Knock 'em Dead Theater's The Taming of the Shrew, Thursday through Saturday, with dinners on Friday and Saturday at 6:15. Tickets and info at 385-0021 or online at kedproductions.org. And finally, Willy Wonka, another melodramatic, family-friendly farce over at Prairie Dog Theater. Tickets and information at pdplayhouse.com or call 336-PETE.
That sounds great. And then, of course, it is Memorial Day weekend. And don't you have a little insight on some barbecue stuff for us?
We do. Coming up in the next break, we're going to tell you about how you can win a barbecue or buy a barbecue. So we got you covered.
Perfect. Sounds great. Stick around.